Alright, we're going to start making some playoff videos since that is obviously the big occurrence that is happening in the NBA right now. We just had our first of 4 games today wrap up with the 76ers edging the Wizards 125 to 118. First of all, Westbrook, Beal, and company definitely showed up. They definitely kept the game close throughout. They were leading by a point at halftime, but eventually the 76ers broke away. And my biggest thought that came from this game was with his 15 assist, 15 rebound performance. Ben Simmons, if this man could shoot, he would be a top 5 player in the league. Because even though he only scored 6 points, his impact in this game was undeniable. Before the playoffs, he told USA Today, in terms of the opportunity for the playoffs, I don't take it for granted because I was in the same position last year and obviously got hurt and wasn't able to play in the playoffs. For me and this team, we've got to take it as this could be the last opportunity we get to play with each other. That's how we got to look at every game. We got to go out there and play like it's our last. This was definitely a good start for Ben Simmons, besides the 6-point performance. But since April, he has only been averaging 11.3 points a game, 5.9 assists, 5.9 rebounds, only shooting 52.6% from the free throw line, but he is shooting over 55% from the field. He has made 3 All-Star games in a row, so his impact, despite his offensive shortcomings, is undeniable. Looking on Twitter, after the game, there have been a lot of posts about Ben Simmons, some of them talking about his shooting, but for example, Hoops Reference said, Ben Simmons having an absurdly good game. Don't let the casuals who only care about points per game tell you otherwise. 1.1 thousand likes. I would agree with that. He had a great game. And Doc Rivers agreed so after the game. As Jackson Frank posted 13 minutes ago, Doc Rivers after the game said, I thought he was special tonight. Whoever he guarded struggled scoring. He created so many points. He's a treasure. He's something you don't see a lot in this league. Now, according to Sixers stats, he had 15 assists today. It's a new playoff career high. And this is the most by a 76er in a playoff game since Allen Iverson on April 29th, 2005 versus Detroit. So that's 16 years ago, and that is solid. First of all, also shout out to Tobias Harris, who had 37 points, including 28 in the first half, and Embiid put in a cool 30 points as well. So I'm definitely seeing a lot of criticism and a lot of praise too. And I do agree. I mean, he's a Defensive Player of the Year finalist for a reason. I agree with the positive talk about him today. I think that his impact on the game goes outside of the box score. At the same time, knowing his rookie year, 3 years ago, it was 3 years ago now, and knowing how, in my opinion, it was one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time. I remember distinctly at the time in 2018, I had him as a top 25 player in the league as a rookie. Now, that put high expectations on his future, and has he met those high expectations? I'm not sure. Now, there just seems to be a lot of question marks about his offensive game still. And yes, I do agree. His impact on the floor, undeniable. One of the best perimeter defenders in the league. A Defensive Player of the Year finalist. One of, for his size, I mean, we've had Jokic this year, but still, one of, for his size, 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", whatever he is, one of the best playmakers ever for his size, in my opinion. I don't think that is an overstatement. I mean, for his career, he's averaging over 7 to 8 assists a game. Looking now, he is averaging 7.7 assists a game for his career. So that should not be understated. There just seems to be, like I said in the title, if his offensive game and his scoring ability was on point, dude would be a top 5 player in this league. And I think easily, like really easily, he would be a top 5 player in this league. So, focusing on the good, I think, like I said in my last video with Kwame Brown's statements recently, I think he made a lot of good points about how we need to focus on what these players are doing on the positive end of the floor more, and I agree with that. So, again, to emphasize, great playmaker, one of the best defensive players in the league, and he still does have time to reach his full potential. He was drafted 5 years ago, but he's still only 24. He turns 25 on July 20th, and we are going to see just how he can reach that potential, because the fact of the matter is he is a starter and one of the best defensive players in the league on a Philadelphia 76ers team that is currently the top team in the East. So that can't be taken away from him. So these playoffs are huge for this Philadelphia 76ers team. The process is over. It's been over. And now we are in the phase of looking at the results of the process. A couple of years ago, you had that incredibly tough buzzer beater by Kawhi Leonard to take the 76ers out in the Eastern Conference semifinals. But going forward, 2020 was, I would say, a little bit of a step back year, but the 76ers did bounce back, and Embiid's fully healthy, and things are looking good for the 76ers, and they are obviously heavily favored to at least make the semifinals again. So, in order for the 76ers to get to the finals, to get past the Brooklyn Nets, and I do think there is a chance they could get to the finals, but they are going to need Ben Simmons to step up in terms of offensive scoring consistency going forward to reach their full potential. I think they can get past the Wizards even if he does not. I think that they will. But in order to get past some of the teams that they will be facing later on in the playoffs, if they do beat the Wizards, we are probably going to need to see more offensive consistency from Ben Simmons. Overall, though, good first game, 15 rebounds, 15 assists. Can't take that away from him. As Doc Rivers said, he was guarding the Wizards players like crazy, and the players he was guarding were having a very hard time scoring. So it's definitely a good start for the playoffs for Ben Simmons and the 76ers. And let's see how much more he will step up as we move forward in the playoffs.